Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of Joe Boo's Day Job. And I am back actually from vacation, and we're going to get working on the garage here. Unfortunately, we got a bit of rain that's happening, so I don't know how much we're going to be able to get on here. But what I'm going to do to start out with this, you can see I put a 2x4 here across the bottom. I'll put another one on here on both sides of this, so that way we can go ahead and get the plywood sheathing put around on the face right there, so that way we can get that all squared away. Before we put the plywood on the roof, I need to cut that edge right there off of there as well, and I'm going to probably need to clean up some of the brush that's on the other side so we can get over and have access on that. Once we get that on there, I'm going to actually take a 2x4 and offset another one up on there to put on the end here, so that way I can go ahead and drop the plywood up on top of it. It'll give it a stop, so that way it won't come off of it. When I take it off, then I'll end up putting on a 1x6 fascia piece, and that'll give me 3/4 of an inch overhang, so it'll make it easier to kind of square it up and get it put in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff cut over here and hope that the rain holds off. I've got some brush I'm taking to the landfill, and I'm going to get some gravel because I got my buddy Mike up here. We're expanding the parking spaces up here, and so we're taking up the weeds and the grass right there, and we're going to get some of the crushed stone that actually will compact, so that way it'll be easy to take care of that. And I'm also working on the idea of the summer kitchen, even though summer is just about gone. And for the most part, this is about the most level spot. When you look it up here, you see the grasses begin to fill in there nicely and things. But we're looking at probably 14 by 18, 18 inches deep. And we're gonna end up having to basically flatten this out, level it out, dig our footings for the slab, and backfill it with a lot of gravel, so that way we can have it level. It's going to be a little bit higher on this side because we do want it to be able to drain if we do have a lot of rain and stuff on there. So another one of the projects we're going to work on. The extra dirt that we excavate, we're going to be at the same time working on repairing the retaining wall and redoing the steps going down, so that way we'll get one cement truck here and we'll be able to pour that and pour this at the same time, trying to figure out how to do as many things as you can at the same time. So that's where we are. I'm happy to be back and happy to be back on this. So let's see how much we can get done today. Okay, so here's what we got. We've got our plywood up on here now, and we're putting in some spacers because we're making actually the overhang for this side. And so we basically are just putting in some scrap pieces that are here, and then we're going to go ahead and nail one that'll go all the way across, so that way we'll end up having a little bit of an overhang over the front of the building to help it to drain. So yeah, getting there little bit by little. It's kind of a misty rain right now, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but it's okay. We're going to keep on doing what we're doing. Boy, that's really shaping up and beginning to look really, really nice. So you can see I've got the first one on here, and I'll end up using a 1x that'll go up underneath of it to frame it up, to box it in, and we'll end up putting the house wrap on it. Now, do I need to put house wrap on a shed? No, I really don't. But I'm going to, just to help seal up the wood and make it last. It's not like we're worried about the air flowing in. We will put the cupola on top of this to help the air heat rise and go out of it later on. And I'll take 1x's and basically trim the corners out and trim out the doorway and stuff here, paint that stuff white, and then we'll put the red siding on it to match. Now, the windows have actually the lip for the siding. Now, if you look at our windows over here at the house, you can see how they've got a big reveal. I'm not sure that it's really worth doing that on there, so I think I'm going to go ahead and not worry about that so much. So I'm going to go ahead and get this last piece on here, then I'm going to switch around to the back side so I can get this gable end put on here on the back of that, and then I'll actually start trying to get the plywood up on the roof. Again, I'm working on this by myself. All right, so we've got our gable ends on, which looks really good, and the only thing we got left to do here is I only have 3 2x4s left right now, but we're going to use those as collar ties, and basically they're going to rest right on top of the top plate, and they're going to go ahead and cross tie with the rafters. So I've got 3. I'll put 1 here, I'll put one here and I'll put one here, which is more, it basically, the code is every other one if you were building a house. So if I put one there, one there, one there, I only need one more 2x4 to get it cross-tied in there. So you could go ahead and put them all the way across there, and if we wanted to put a ceiling in here, we could do that. But for now, I'm going to put those on there, and then I'll be ready to start getting the plywood up on here. Woohoo! Okay, so you can see what we've done here. We've cut this to meet the angle right there. Now what this does is, this is a triangle. A triangle is it's the strongest way to do any construction, because what happens is, as the weight of this pushes down, it's now pulling against this and vice versa. So it's basically transferring all of the load. So now when we put the roof on here, that's going to make this that much stronger. So that's why you have the rafter ties that are in here. So we've got enough for 3 right now. And of course it's sprinkling. I was hoping to get the sheathing and the tar paper on here, so that way I could get the trim boards and I could paint those inside. But you know what? I won't melt. I'm not made of brown sugar. So we're going to nail these on and see if we can get the rafters on. Looks like the rain's not going to hold off, but here's what I did with some scrap wood. Put a 2x4 here on the end, and I've got a little piece as a stop, because then I can pick up the piece of plywood, I can set it on there, and it can lean against it. And what that'll give me is an 1.5 inch hangover. Now, I'll end up putting on 3/4 inch fascia, which will give me 3/4 of an inch to hang over. Then I'll put my metal drip edge on there, and that way it'll drop right into the gutter. So that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my shorter nails, my 2-inch nails for the nail gun, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get this one on here, and then I guess we'll call it a day. Well, hello good people and Eagle fans. Shit just got real. So now Micah Parsons is the second star that has requested a trade away from his team. Terry McLaurin yesterday, and we were laughing yesterday, we're gonna get him out of the division and stuff. And now we got Micah Parsons saying, not so fast, good people. I want to get out of here too. I want to get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Because Jerry Jones, I really would like to be a fly on the wall with the Jones organization right now and see what they actually think. What they actually think about this. If they figure he's serious or not serious. Now, we have had this before. When Catboy tried to screw over D-Law, I don't know if you guys remember that. When D-Law had like a $27 million cap hit number, and we had Stephen Jones basically say, hey, how about we just give you 10 million guaranteed and we'll call it even. And he said, man, the hell with you, release me, Catboy. And Catboy ran to Jerry. So is Catboy now running to Jerry and saying we need to get this thing done? You know, I think in the grand scheme of things, Micah Parsons realizes that being Mr. Nice Guy doesn't work with the Joneses, because they are so freaking stupid. That's right, I said it. They're stupid. That they are literally taking what Micah Parsons has done, his being kind and trying to work a deal with them, as a sign of weakness. And I hope that this has not destroyed the relationship that they've had overall. So being reported by everybody, and I don't know if this was from what happened last night, that they're just assuming that he's going to request, but it says, as all the reports are, that he officially requests a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, shit just got real. The Cowboys, it's hard here, man. We can't have nice things. They always screw the pooch on this stuff. I'm going to get this piece of OSB on the roof here. It is beginning to rain. I just got to get this on here. I'm working on my storage building. I just got back yesterday and I wanted to work on it, but it is raining, and we've got Micah Parsons basically saying, screw you, Cowboys. So I'm going to get this up here, and then I'll get in the man cave and we'll do a live stream with more about it, getting all the details of everything. But it does look pretty good though, doesn't it? It does look pretty good. So I'll be with you in a few. All right, so I got my man Skinny Mike, who can fit in between there, who's slipping up in here, but we're getting the sheathing up on here. And this is nice because when we go back down inside, let's take a look. See, I'm not so skinny. You can see we're getting the roof on the sucker, and it's definitely locking it all together. And now you can start to see how it's working. Now, eventually, we will build our boy. I can't remember what you call it. Jeez, I'm having a brain fart. Our cupola that'll go up on here. But for now, we're just getting the plywood up on here, and then I can get my 1x, and I can actually start painting this stuff. So I'm excited.
Can I get a nail?
Some more nails? Certainly. Yeah, it's once it gets down real low, it stops. So you can look at this and say, from the outside, how much better that's beginning to look. So, and of course, every time I get out here, it starts to rain again. Every time. Okay, so it's been drizzling off and on and things, but we've been working, and guess what? We got the sheathing all on here, and we got the house wrap. I got to go back up underneath there and cut that. Now, it's a shed. Do I need house wrap? No. But this will help it last a lot longer, and since I had a roll of it already, I'm putting it on there. Literally, I've had it, I think, at my house under the deck for about 12 years. So it's left over. But it's okay, because once we put the siding on here, we won't have to worry about it. Now, check this out. What we did, because this is like building a house, you can see we have a gap here at the top, and we'll put a ridge vent on there to allow the hot air to circulate. So it'll come in through the soffits and it'll vent out. Eventually we'll put our cupola on here. Now we wrapped this. I could, if I really wanted to, I could go ahead and put one of these windows in here real easy, because those are made, it's got the flange on here, just ends it real simple, drops in place, then nail it all the way around, it's in place and good to go. So tomorrow morning, Skinny Mike, is going to go ahead and put the tar paper on here in the morning first thing, so we get that out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 1x4s, and I'm going to pre-paint them so that way I can put them in the corners. We're not going to actually use, if it were the house actually used composite. That's kind of expensive. But I'm going to use 1x4s. I'm going to paint them on both sides. I'm going to use kills to prime it first, because the knots will be on there. We'll put those on there, paint it on both sides, and nail it on real good, and we'll be fine with this. And we'll just have to paint it every few years. But I'm really digging how this is looking. So definitely, it's come a long ways since we got back yesterday. And tomorrow, heck, tomorrow we might be able to get the windows in here. If I can get the trim on here, I'm gonna get some of the siding. And so we'll actually see what this is gonna look like. And we'll have the tar paper on, in which case it'll be weather tight. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys for being part of Joe Boo's Day Job. Peace.